What's up, fam? Check this out. Get ready, because what we've got to share today is jaw-dropping. The tragic death of Matthew Perry, the forever Chandler Bing from Friends, shocked the entire world. What seemed like a sad accident of drowning in his bathtub in Los Angeles has turned into a full-blown Hollywood scandal. And get this? There are already 5 people charged in this case, including 2 doctors who are behind bars. That's right. The investigation uncovered a secret criminal network that was fueling Perry's addiction with ketamine, a super dangerous drug. Crazy, right? Curious? Then don't go anywhere because the story is just beginning, fam. Let's catch up. On October 28, 2023, the world was shaken with the news that Matthew Perry had been found dead. Fam, let's catch up. At first, it seemed like one of those bizarre accidents you only see in movies. He was found in the bathtub at his Los Angeles home, and everyone thought it was drowning. But then came the bombshell. The autopsy revealed that the real cause of death was a ketamine overdose. That's right, that anesthetic that sounds more like the name of an alternative rock band, but is super dangerous when used out of control. So, folks, the real puzzle began. How was Perry getting involved in something so dangerous? The investigation turned into a suspense movie worthy of Hollywood. What seemed like a simple tragedy quickly became a thriller full of twists and turns. The investigation uncovered a criminal network hidden in the shadows of Hollywood, and things got uglier than a Mexican soap opera finale. 5 people were charged, including 2 doctors and Perry's assistant. And guess what? These guys were more concerned with lining their pockets than taking care of the actor's health. One of the doctors, Salvador Plasencia, was responsible for injecting ketamine into Perry just hours before he died. And the most surreal part? The messages exchanged between the accused revealed how they were laughing at Perry. One even thought, "I wonder how much this idiot will pay." So, what started as a tragic accident turned into a thriller with more twists than a Mexican soap opera. Now, let's dive into this plot and see how it all unfolded. Now things get even crazier. After the autopsy revealed that Matthew Perry died from a ketamine overdose, the investigation turned into a real thriller. The police and the DEA, Drug Enforcement Administration, uncovered a criminal network so deep you'd think it was straight out of a movie script. They unearthed a sinister plot involving doctors and intermediaries, all feeding Perry's addiction with this hallucinogenic drug. And then the plot thickens. Among the 5 accused, we have Salvador Plasencia, a doctor who not only had the responsibility of taking care of Perry's health but was also the guy who injected ketamine into him just hours before his death. And the most insane part? Josephine Senga, the so-called Queen of Ketamine, a Hollywood drug dealer who supplied this dangerous substance to several celebrities. The messages exchanged between these criminals, which fell into the hands of investigators, are chilling. They showed complete disregard for the actor's life and were more focused on making a profit. In a shocking message, Plasencia even made a horrible joke, saying, "I wonder how much this idiot will pay." It's enough to leave anyone stunned. The investigation revealed that this criminal network was operating in the shadows of Hollywood, manipulating and destroying lives. What started as a tragic loss has now turned into a nightmare of corruption and greed. And there's still so much more to this sinister story, so stay tuned because we're going to tell you everything. Now that we're deep into the drama, let's take a look at Matthew Perry's life before all this chaos exploded. He was born on August 19, 1969, in Williamstown, Massachusetts, and was raised in Ottawa, Canada. Imagine a kid dealing with his parents' divorce and switching lives like he's in a never-ending soap opera. From an early age, Perry showed he had a knack for acting. At 15, he moved to Los Angeles to live with his dad and try his luck in the TV world. And guess what? He landed his first role in 1979, on the show 240 Robert. He kept going, landing small roles in TV shows and movies, trying to find his big break. It wasn't until 1994 that he snagged the huge opportunity that would change his life, the role of Chandler Bing on Friends. The show premiered and became a massive hit. Perry, with his sarcastic humor and ability to make anyone laugh, quickly became one of TV's most beloved characters. Chandler Bing wasn't just the funny guy, he was the heart of the group. His famous, "Could I be any more?" became a catchphrase everyone loved to repeat. The show's success was so huge that Friends became one of the greatest series of all time, and Perry became an international superstar. But, as we know, the shine of fame has its dark side. The pressure to keep up the success and chase a perfect life began to take a heavy toll. Perry's struggle with alcohol and drug addiction became a constant battle, and he fought his personal demons while making comedy look easy. While Friends was a huge hit, Matthew Perry was living a real roller coaster behind the scenes. Off camera and behind the laughs, he was dealing with a tough fight against addiction. The pressure of fame and addiction to painkillers mixed into an explosive formula. In 1997, after a jet ski accident, he was prescribed Vicodin, and suddenly, what started as pain relief turned into a devastating addiction. Can you believe it? The guy was taking up to 55 pills a day and, at one point, weighed only 145 pounds. It's shocking, right? Behind the scenes, things were tense. Perry had ups and downs, and his addiction was so severe that he didn't remember 3 whole years of the series. That's right, 3 years. The cast and crew of Friends were worried, but Matthew managed to hide his struggle while delivering brilliant performances. Even with all this going on, he remained the cornerstone of the show, and Friends continued to be an absolute hit until 2004. Matthew's battle with addiction didn't end when the series wrapped up. In 2001, he checked into rehab, seeking a new chance at life. It was a painful moment, but also a turning point. He began to rebuild his life, knowing that the road ahead would be long and full of challenges. What's impressive is that despite all the difficulties, he didn't let himself be defeated and kept fighting to stay sober and focused. After Friends, Matthew Perry entered a new phase of his life, knowing that the success of the show would always be a shadow over him. But instead of letting it get to him, he dove into new challenges. In 2006, he starred in Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip, a series created by Aaron Sorkin. Playing Matt Albee, a TV writer with sharp humor, was his chance to show that he had more to offer beyond Chandler Bing. The show received positive reviews but was cancelled after 1 season. Frustrating, for sure. Even with this setback, Perry kept searching for roles that challenged his skills. He appeared in films like Numb, 2007, where he played a screenwriter struggling with anxiety disorders, and 17 Again, 2009, a comedy where he starred alongside Zac Efron, showcasing his comedic talent from a new angle. These projects didn't have the same impact as Friends, but they were important for him to explore different aspects of acting. Matthew's life continued to be a constant battle against addiction. In 2011, he checked into rehab again to stay on track. This dedication to recovery wasn't just a personal fight, he also became an active advocate for addiction awareness and mental health. In 2013, he was even honored by the White House for his work in the field of recovery. He was determined to use his platform to help others overcome their own challenges. Still, the road was full of bumps. In 2015, he returned to TV with Go On, where he played a sports announcer in a support group. The series was well received, but it was also cancelled after 1 season. Matthew didn't let that get him down, and in the same year, he launched the Perry House, a rehab facility for men in Malibu. This project held a special place for him, as it was a way to turn his own painful experiences into something that could genuinely help others. In 2015, Matthew Perry didn't stop there. He starred in and co-wrote the series, The Odd Couple, a modern adaptation of the classic sitcom, where he played Oscar Madison. The series ran for 3 seasons and, while it didn't reach the same heights as Friends, it was a testament to Perry's passion for acting and his ability to bring humor to challenging roles. And speaking of challenges, what stood out was Matthew's ongoing effort to keep his recovery on track. He knew that fighting addiction was something he would face for the rest of his life, but he was determined to keep pushing forward. He stayed active in his mission to help others, dedicating himself to the work at Perry House and supporting recovery initiatives. Perhaps the highlight of his work off-screen was his memoir, Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing, released in 2022. This book was a cry of desperation and hope, where Matthew opened up about the depths of his struggle with addiction. He shared raw details about his journey, including a terrifying moment in 2018 when he almost lost his life due to a gastrointestinal perforation caused by opioid abuse. He spent 5 months in the hospital and had to learn to walk again. This episode was a turning point, helping him reevaluate his life and double down on his recovery efforts. The book not only brought his personal battles to light but also helped raise awareness about addiction and its impact on people's lives. Despite all the challenges, Matthew continued to be in. In 2021, Matthew Perry and his Friends co-stars reunited for a special that reignited nostalgia for millions of fans around the world. The reunion wasn't just a blast from the past but also a chance to see how everyone was doing, including Matthew, who, despite his ongoing struggles, seemed to be at peace with his past and his legacy. In recent years, Matthew Perry's presence in Hollywood became more low-key. He made occasional appearances in smaller projects, focusing on his recovery and his mission to help others. His life was a roller coaster of highs and lows, but he never lost his determination to make the most of what he had. He continued to fight against the ghosts of his past but was committed to living a meaningful and positive life. Matthew knew that, despite all the challenges, he would always be remembered as Chandler Bing, and he learned to embrace that legacy with gratitude. In various interviews, he talked about how Friends was a blessing, even though it sometimes felt like a difficult shadow to overcome. He wanted to be remembered not just for his iconic role but also for the positive impact he made through his work in recovery and addiction awareness. And then, on October 28, 2023, the world received the tragic news of Matthew Perry's death at 54. Found dead in his Los Angeles home, the shock and sadness were immense. The news of Matthew Perry's death resonated globally, with tributes and honors pouring in from all corners of the world. His passing left a deep void, but it also highlighted the legacy of a man who, despite all his challenges, never stopped fighting for a better life and helping others find hope amid their own battles. Matthew Perry's life makes us reflect on how fame can bring both brilliance and heavy shadows. The question remains: does the glamour of fame truly compensate for personal struggles and suffering? What can we, as a society, do to offer more support and understanding to those who are fighting silently, fam? We also lost another cinema legend this week, the wonderful Gena Rowlands. If you want to know how she passed away, I'll leave the video at the end. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any new videos.